10 Strange Last Meal Requests from Death Row. Number 10. Philip Workman died on May 9, 2007. He was executed in Tennessee for the 1981 murder of a Memphis police officer during a robbery. Prior to his execution, Workman made a unique last meal request. He asked for a vegetarian pizza to be delivered to a homeless person. Initially, the Tennessee Department of Correction denied his request, stating that they did not allow outside food donations for security reasons. However, the denial sparked a considerable amount of public attention and controversy. Many people, including activists, celebrities, and organizations, were moved by Workman's request and wanted to fulfill it in some way. In response to the denial, a grassroots campaign emerged, and numerous individuals across the United States and even from other countries ordered vegetarian pizzas and sent them to local homeless shelters. Number 9. Victor Fker died on March 15, 1963. He was executed in Iowa for the kidnapping and murder of a physician named Dr. Edward Bartels. Fker's last meal request was indeed a single olive with the pit still in it. The reason behind his unique last meal request is often cited as a symbolic gesture. It is said that Fker believed that if the olive pit were planted, an olive tree would grow from his body, representing life even after death. This request reflected his desire for some form of hope, growth, or renewal. Number 8. Gerald Lee Mitchell died on October 22, 2001. He was just 17 when he murdered 2 men. Before being executed by lethal injection in Texas in 2001, his last meal request was an assorted bag of Jolly Ranchers hard candies. In his final statement he turned his attention to Marino's mother, saying, "I am sorry for the pain. I am sorry for the life I took from you. I ask God for forgiveness and I ask you for the same." Number 7. Timothy McVeigh died on June 11, 2001. The perpetrator of the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995, was executed by lethal injection at the Federal Correctional Complex in Terre Haute, Indiana. In the hours leading up to his execution, he was offered the opportunity to select a special meal, but he declined. Instead, he chose to have 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream as his last meal. Number 6. Ronnie Lee Gardner died on June 18, 2010. A death row inmate in Utah was executed by firing squad for the murder of attorney Michael Burdell during a failed escape attempt in 1985. Gardner ate a last meal of steak, lobster tail, apple pie, vanilla ice cream and 7-Up, before beginning a 48-hour fast while watching the Lord of the Rings film trilogy and reading Divine Justice. According to his lawyers, the fast was motivated by spiritual reasons. Gardner was visited by an LDS bishop and his family before his execution. When asked if he had any last words, he responded, "I do not, no." Number 5. Ricky Ray Rector died on January 24, 1992. He was an American convicted murderer who was executed for the 1981 murder of police officer Robert Martin in Conway, Arkansas. Prior to his execution, Rector requested a combination of steak, fried chicken, cherry Kool-Aid, and pecan pie for his last meal. However, during his meal, Rector left the pecan pie untouched, saying he wanted to save it for later. His last words were, "I'd like to tell my family I love them and I hope they find peace." Number 4. James Edward Smith died on June 26, 1990. On March 7, 1983, James Edward Smith shot and killed Larry Don Rohus while robbing the Union Life Insurance Company. Smith was convicted of capital murder and was sentenced to death by lethal injection. For his last meal, Smith requested Rayakunda dirt, which is associated with voodoo rituals. He wanted to use it to mark his body so that his soul would move on and not stay on Earth as a ghost. Smith's request was not granted and on June 25, 1990, he received yogurt as his last meal. James Smith was executed in Huntsville. Before he died, Smith warned the officials that his ghost will haunt the prison for 300 years. Number 3. Aileen Carol Wuornos died on October 9, 2002. She was an American serial killer and prostitute who operated in Florida. Between 1989 and 1990, she shot and killed 7 men. Even though Wuornos claimed she was assaulted by the man and that she acted in self-defense, she was sentenced to death. Wuornos spent 10 years on death row and was executed on October 9, 2002, by lethal injection. Her last meal was a cup of coffee. Number 2. David Leon Woods died on May 4, 2007. He spent an unbelievable 22 years on death row before being executed by lethal injection in Indiana. David Woods was granted a last meal before his execution. He chose to have pizza and birthday cake with his family. His final words were, "I want one's family to know I truly am sorry, and I do have remorse." His birthday was 3 months after his execution. Number 1. Lawrence Russell Brewer died on September 21, 2011. He was a white supremacist who already served time before being incarcerated again for violating his parole. Brewer's last meal request was a feast consisting of 2 chicken fried steaks smothered in gravy with sliced onions, a triple meat bacon cheeseburger with fixings on the side, a cheese omelet with ground beef, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers and jalapenos, a large bowl of fried okra with ketchup, 1 pound of barbecue with half a loaf of white bread, 3 fajitas with fixings, a meat lover's pizza, 3 root beers, 1 pint of Bluebell vanilla ice cream, and a slab of peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts. Brewer's request was granted, but he refused the meal when it arrived, saying that he was simply not hungry, prompting Texas to stop granting last meal requests to condemned inmates.